Hello, my name is Matt, and I'm going to be giving my presentation on my case study for religion. All right, so the objectives, we're going to discuss what religion is, case study of Neema Lahoma, challenges she faced, what I found interesting and inspiring, what I learned about the topic, and steps that can be taken to ensure that people like her don't have similar experiences in the future. All right, so what is religion? It's seen as like a holy, sacred, and absolute spiritual divine of worth of a special reverence. It incorporates beliefs, practices, rituals, and ethics, and it's a community based centered around worship of deities and spiritual beings. And the main types that are viewed around the world are Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism. All right, it's for the case study. So Naima Lahoma, I hope I said that right. She is the niece of a Tibetan religious leader, and he died under suspicious circumstances in China in 2005 while in custody. And she tried to seek the truth about his death. And doing so, she and her family were arrested and faced harassment by authorities. And then doing so, a couple of years after that, she came to Washington and spoke at a conference about the persecution that her people are facing and of people around the world and their religious beliefs. So challenges she faced. So like I said earlier, harassment by the government. They followed her and watched her. Prejudice and stereotyping. So Buddhism is like the main religion that's practiced in Tibet, and it's been restricted due to China's control of Tibet for the last 50 plus years. And then you can say assault and battery because people were facing jail time for their beliefs, and temples were being destroyed, and people were being shot, and religious leaders were disappearing. In all this, she had to flee the country and leave her daughter and her mother behind just to get out of there for her own well being and safety. So, what I found inspiring about the story is, well, one, she was able to escape and overcame much diversity and everything. She was able to share her story at the Congressional and Executive Commission alongside Nancy Pelosi at the State Departments, and this was their second annual um, minstrel to advance religious freedoms in Washington. So one thing I learned is that the sad part is that people are still being persecuted for their religious beliefs to this day. As I said earlier, China is imposing their views and preventing those from being able to practice their belief of Buddhism. In days of 2024, you think these things would not be happening, but the sad reality is they are still happening. So, how to prevent and explain what can be done in the future to prevent things like this. So, one, you can organize, form rallies and protests. Not too sure how they do it in China. I'm sure they have some similarities to America. And here we have the rights assembly, but if people are being arrested just for having religious beliefs, I can only imagine what could happen if these people were to organize even further. In some way, speak up, say what's on your mind, and continue to believe in what you believe in. Continue your religion. Don't be afraid to speak out, and continue doing what you feel is right. All right, so in conclusion, religion is a complex of beliefs, practices, rituals, and ethics that people follow around the world. Nemo was a niece of the Buddhist who was persecuted for his beliefs. She spoke out against China and their command and control over Tibet and its views. And people who still live in Tibet are fighting against the persecution of their people and their beliefs. Some questions I still have. What actions after the meeting that she was a part of, um, like after that meeting, what has actually been done? Have people around the world come together to like fight this for religious freedoms? Have there's been any like action against China? So like, what's going on with that? And what has Nima done afterwards? Is she continuing to have conferences, meetings? Where is she at? Is she living in America? Is she living somewhere else outside of China? So that'd be interesting to find out. And these are my references, and I thank you for listening.